Oh. Can you guys see the stream? So, how's everyone's night going? Is this better? Oh, two of my favorite things. Anyone up for some horror games? Hello. We'll start at 9:25, if that's okay with you guys. Let's all gather here for now and have a sweet talk about how crazy life is. I reckon people telling me to read what was going on through the entire plot, so I'll do that. Crazy, crazy life. Oh, you do? Why? You stop. Crazy? I was crazy once. Do you guys have any recommendation of what to play next? Oh, Marians. I don't have any good memories with Marian's POV, so let's just say I have to redeem myself in this gameplay. Oh yeah, Saint Maker. Also by the same dev. They should make more games, to be honest, like visual novels. Because I really love what they do. And 2 more minutes. Crazy. Yeah. The Quarry. Yeah, I also want to play that. Oh, great. It's 9:25. Time to get spooked. Okay, before we start, so hello guys, my name is Frigg, and today we'll be continuing one of my favorite visual novels called The Ladder, as you can see. Yesterday we did Isabella's POV, and now we're doing Hannah's POV. Everyone ready? Alright, here we go. It is far too easy to get them to pay attention, enraptured. They hang on to my every word and follow my every move. All of it would have been stifling had I not grown used to such stares. Most are respectful, some are hostile if we are honest, and a few are downright inappropriate. After all, I am...
Hannah Wright!
There's a moment of agitation as a familiar, but less than welcome face approaches me with a suggestive smirk on his face. Of course, I have to keep a benevolent smile and greet him as I greet any good friend. After all, this man can turn heads, being famous in his own right.
Officer Lee! What a pleasant surprise. I didn't think you'd have the time to attend tonight's party.
He's more Luke's friend than mine, really, and I'm quite sure I only invited his wife. Much like I am only friends with the chief inspector because of Luke, Luke is only friends with Rochelle because of me. Unlike how I treated Lee, however, Luke never hid his animosity for the Lee matriarch. It was an odd sort of friendship where we would have awkward double dates. I don't even recall his first name. It started with an N, I think. I might be wrong. Aside from being Chief Inspector of Luxembourg Police, his wife, Rochelle, Leanie Vans, owns a General Electronics company, fridges and freezers mostly.
Oh, I always have time for my favorite socialite couple. Might I say, you look positively ravishing tonight. I see the husband isn't with you.
Damn. The way he eyes me up is enough to make my skin crawl. I just wish Luke is here to fend off the more unseemly of our peers. You know the ones. Men who are just a bit too friendly, staring too long at my assets and getting close just because my husband is not there. And to think they have the guile to do this at my own party. In my own house, if I might add. But like any high society woman worth her salt, I know how to handle with grace and dignity.
I suppose you are looking pleasant as well. Luke's busy with work, unfortunately. Rochelle isn't here?
A shame. I do hope he isn't causing you much trouble. That husband of yours can be a bit daft sometimes, acting like he's still some young bachelor. The wife sends her regards and her apologies, but something came up with her doctor and she needed to attend to it. You know her, being pregnant and all.
He is quite a weirdo, huh? We make a small talk. Rather, I'm forced to do so, as he would not leave my side after finding his place there. Much to my chagrin, I've been extricated from the few who flock in hopes of flattering, for I can tolerate them far better than Lee. He is a nice enough person, and I adore his wife, who is obviously the brains behind the two. But there is something unsettling about him. I do not trust him as much as I want to. He regaled to me tales of the Luxembourg Police Department, a different affair to the usual gossip I am privy to, and though I loathe to admit, is interesting nonetheless. I expect the topic of business to die out quickly, which would be understandable enough due to the confidential nature of his work. But oh boy, was I wrong.
So, wearing civvies, I steal and drive off with one of the police mobiles, right? In the mirror, I see the new tank chasing on foot and screaming about theft. The look on his face was priceless when I parked it in the garage.
Oh my. You made him chase you all the way home for a prank. What did Rochelle have to say about that?
Rochelle has a strange love and hate affair with Lee. He's a married man who did not grow up past his early 20s, judging by the way he acts. Surprisingly enough, they've been married for a good 20 years. A lifetime if you compare it to my marriage of 7 years with Luke. I, on the other hand, well, Luke is not Lee. I should be happy about that, I suppose. Although my darling did have his moments.
The wife pulled my ear and gave me a good talking to, though. Besides, we live in a flat a block away, so it wasn't much of a grand chase.
Weren't you living in a house near the countryside?
Oh, hello there.
Moved for work, you know. Or you probably don't.
No, I don't. But a flat in downtown? I suppose if that's what you like.
Oh, it's horrid. Hate that tiny place, no matter how convenient it can be for work. 55 square yards are not enough when you need to get away from the wife. I wouldn't mind a place away from the city. Even started looking at the ads. I spied an interesting lot, actually. Heard it was finally put up for sale. Or that something mansion, you know the one with all the ghost stories.
Why the spoil? I know what he is talking about. There are really only a few urban legends around here. It's...
The Ermagood mansion?
That's the one. Worthy of a king it is. I'd buy it myself, but Rochelle would only gripe if I brought it up to her. Not to mention all the expenses a place like that will be a real fixer-upper. You also have to find someone willing to work there with how superstitious people can be.
If it becomes a problem, just hire someone to do an exorcism.
Actually, I do know of someone who could be up to the task. You remember the Ludgates party at their Christchurch summer residence?
Of course. It was an excellent soiree. Everything was so classy, too. Such good taste.
Oh, that place was a pigsty until they hired out this interior designer and they turned it into a bloody palace. She worked for the Exodus for their apartment in Soho too, and they recommended her when we were looking up pieces for our beach house in Porto Colom. I think I have a business card right No, must have left it in my other jacket. Anyway, she's called, what's her name? McCullough, Marianne, I believe, yes. But truly, if anyone were to get that place in McCullough, well, they'd be the envy and the talk of the town.
Well, if you put it that way, I might just snatch it up for myself. This place was starting to feel a bit small lately anyway.
As it is, I only invited about 30 people to this one, and it already feels cramped in here. It certainly would be nice if I didn't have to ride an elevator up and down several floors before I can get anywhere as well. All Luke's words and not mine. Besides, I have been looking for a good anniversary gift. Luke might like this one. Where is he anyway? Ooh. His butler and valet wait at his side just in case he isn't as ready as he looks. Oh sure, that is normal. What is confusing me is the fact that he is on his way out of the penthouse, considering we won't have anywhere to go until much later.
Where are you going?
I am to attend the Triad Autumn Tasting. I do believe I informed you of this 2 weeks ago.
Yes. And might I remind you that I had stricken that off your schedule? Because 1, the doctor told you to stop consuming so much alcohol. And 2, I informed you a few days ago about the open house we are going to attend in its place. I've even found this marvelous interior designer, Mary Ann McCullough.
It's a 3.5-hour drive to Cardiff. I don't have time for this.
Oh, Johans. Why would you tell me his name now?
This is like that little party you threw all over again. You don't inform me of it, and you expect me to stay and be a gracious host when I have business elsewhere. You know how I operate, Hana. Unless this was penciled in, I am sticking to my schedule.
Ooh, wait.
If I may intrude, the madam is correct. Your physician did insist you moderate your
Sounds
drinking,
nice to
unless
me.
you wish to incur acute pancreatitis.
That's pretty serious.
And you did have this open house penciled in last Wednesday morning.
Bullocks, I don't remember doing so.
Well, you did. While very hungover, in fact.
Mourned about me being too loud but giving in after some pushing. Perhaps it was a bit too cruel and manipulative of me, but
Whose side are you on?
Come on, Luke. You promised we'd do whatever I want this weekend.
Gordon Bennett, fine. I am giving this house tour of yours a chance. But if it proves to be a waste of time, I am going to Cardiff, and you are going to take a cab home.
yeah, he does sound dreamy.
Are we clear?
It's just a bit of a husband and wife tit for tat, isn't it? All couples have their arguments. Once the honeymoon phase is over, as they seem to call it, reality sets in that you and your partner might not always see eye to eye. Is that true? Perhaps it has been years. 7 of them is nothing to scoff at.
I just cannot bloody believe I agreed to this. I was really looking forward to the Triad tasting.
Though sometimes I think it's something a bit more than just simple disagreements, and I have to stop myself from wondering where we went wrong.
There's always the Triad Christmas tasting in Manchester next month, and that'll only be an hour-and-a-half drive.
Have I been neglectful? Have I offended? Have I acted shamefully?
Yes, but Cardiff.
Certainly any problem can be discussed, as long as he doesn't turn me away.
Well, there goes my good mood. Are you happy now, Hana?
Very happy, I guess. Should we remain silent or defend myself? Do we defend? Or do we stay silent?
am very happy, Luke. Because for once in a very long time,
Yep,
we are doing what I
defending.
want. I'm ecstatic. Understood? And this would be perfect if you stop acting like a child who needs their nappy changed. We will be leaving after lunch for the Ermengarde mansion. You are going to park your rear in the car and keep mum. And you are going to behave during the tour.
That's right, look. Look at me like that. Hello. He opened and closed his mouth a few times, struggling to reply, before he crosses his arms to look like, well, a moping child.
Any more rules for this little excursion of yours, Your Highness?
No wine.
No wine? Unacceptable! I am already not allowed to the tasting, and you would deprive me of that simple pleasure?
If I see you take one sip today, I will put the stocks under lock and key. Do you understand me?
Don't forget the bottles he keeps in his dresser.
That's right, Johannes. You go tell him.
Whose side are you on?
How many times in one day can you ask that?
As many times as I need you, traitor!
The ride to the mansion is quiet. With Luke having started out the window the entire way, not paying attention to anything around him. Meanwhile, I am conflicted. I don't know if I should apologize for changing his plans like that. But by the time we arrive at the mansion, and I see his eyes light up in genuine interest, apologizing is the last thing on my mind. Cool, I made the right choice then. The whole affair with the Ermengarde mansion is certainly an interesting experience. The place had been renovated and restored by the owners to what they claim to be acceptable standards. The mansion itself looks like something befitting a fairy tale or a period piece. It is tastefully decorated, and with a little bit of love and attention, I'm sure it can be a place Luke and I can call home. And the number of the other prospective buyers that have come from the powerful and wealthy of Luxburn certainly did not disappoint, marking this estate as prime property. The Lees are amongst the group who went with the Rose woman, and I saw a few other notable faces, though I did not really feel like mingling. Unfortunately, for every one of them, the Wrights are interested in buying. What's been bugging my mind, however, is that Isabel. What is her problem? I still don't quite understand what is happening. One moment, she is scrambling to give us the paperwork to finalize the sale. Then, she is panicking over some sort of prank letter or another.
Dear me, is Isabel alright?
It is apparent, with the way she shakes and by the pallor of his skin, something has really shaken her up.
Isabella, do you need me to call that ambulance?
I am worried, but it will be best if she attended to by someone more familiar to her, like her partner. Oh my god, Rose. But even then, the girl refuses Rose's offered drink and looks just about ready to make a run for it.
No, I'm just feeling a bit out of it. Excuse me, I'll be back. I just need to catch my breath.
And she does so, just as I predicted, and her partner follows like a concerned mother. There is an awkward air among us as we are left in the wake of whatever that was. The others murmur and gossip with each other, speaking of the poor, daft girl and telling the tale to whoever was not audience to the act in the first place. It doesn't take too long for the woman, Rose, to return and pull us aside into the study for what I rightfully assumed damage control. Are they that sensitive that that was already a damage control? Rose invites Marianne in too, hoping to apologize to her as well. Amongst us. That leaves myself, Rose, and Luke, the last all too eager to make himself comfortable in a study he's no doubt already claimed as his own.
I can't apologize enough about what just happened. Please forgive Isabella. She's been under a lot of pressure lately. She's young, and all those rumors about this being haunted just got to her head. And it must be this terrible heat, too. Not a drop of rain for days now.
Are you sure it is wise to just let her go like that? Where is the poor dear? She might get hurt.
She's more likely to hurt somebody else, given what just happened.
I told her to sit down and take a break. Already rang someone to pick her up, too.
Something's about to come up? Oh, what do you mean?
That might be for the best, dear. But please, we're here to talk about the mansion, yes? Why, I absolutely adore it. Don't you, Luke? Some of the rooms will certainly have to be repurposed. We want to change the appliances and have Marianne lead on the decor, but the whole thing is just lovely.
I guess. It's certainly a lot roomier than our penthouse.
Exactly! Lots of space for guests, parties, a lot of room for little ones to run around too.
Let's not discuss that right now, Buttercup. Anyway, I do think it would be a shame to let this mansion slip past us.
But you haven't even finished touring the house.
Well, we like what we've seen.
I am making her job easier for her, am I not? No need for loans or long price negotiations. We can just sign a contract and close the deal. Really, you'd think the woman will be more happy about an easy sale. I know how these estate agents worked, how long they had to wait and how much they had to spend even just for a single sale. Why, she should be jumping for joy by now. I'm sure the commission of this mansion is nothing to sneeze at, even if she has to split it with the Isabel girl.
Do you think we could have horses here?
Yes, those do sound nice, love. Anyway, if anyone else is interested in buying this property, I assure you that I'm able and willing to give a better offer.
I
A vineyard would be nice. Or maybe
And we do reward our people quite generously, Rose. So, if I were you, I would start on that paperwork.
helicopter pad.
I pause. And there's a small moment of complete silence where Rose and I just stare incredulously at Luke. Sorry, my bad. You also feel that something's about to happen. Like, what exactly? 'Cause I forgot about this part. It is an unspoken understanding, a rule between the two of us that we have to put on an act. If there's social standing or image matters, it is also important to avoid making enemies. And to follow this rule is an easy feat for me. From youth, I have been the well-trained social butterfly, gracious and graceful. Well. Oh, how are you? I'm fine. Thank you. How are you? Rift Summoner. Luke, on the other hand.
Oh, wait, what, Luke? No, what? Whatever would we need a helipad for?
Well, he likes to play the fool sometimes, even if he isn't anything but... Oh, well, thank you. As he throws me wry smile, I shake my head and Beacon rows over. This is to be our home, and there is nothing she or anyone else can do to change my mind. This is a place that speaks of power and importance, and at the same time of safety and comfort. Perhaps we can have our own family here. There is definitely no better gift than this for our special date. Why, everything here is absolutely wonderful. Holy fuck! I was just... Oh god. Clearly, well, except for this ugly painting in the study, if that's even a painting. It looks like a bad fake of an Edvard Munch painting.
Here's the deal. I'm willing to pay 10% higher than your listing price. If anyone tries to outbid us, just add another 5%.
I can't even. Did you guys not get scared at all? You almost jumped. Fools, traitors! You didn't tell me it was gonna be there.
I doubt anyone can, of course. Or, you know what? Just add 15% to the listing price, and we can sign all the paperwork now.
That was great. Was it?
I guess, if that's what you want. That won't be any trouble. I don't have all the papers now. Didn't think this would be a quick sell. I'll have copies sent to you so you can look over them. And if you'd still like to finish the rest of the tour with Isabella's group, you're more than welcome to.
No, I think we're good here. We'd appreciate a private tour of the place a lot more, I think.
All right. Should I let Marianne in, then?
Marianne? Alright, she's been waiting outside the study this whole time, hasn't she? I'll need to have a little chat with her to move this little mansion project forward.
Please do.
Hello, Marianne. There is a look of apprehension when the other woman enters the study. Yet, like a professional, I see the moment when she steels herself and masks her worry. Admirable.
We have this project then?
Of course. Will you be needing anything from us?
Having the floor plans would be a great start, just so that I can look at them beforehand.
She just sounds good. That's it.
And if you could tell me when you're available for a meeting so that I can include it in my calendar?
Ugh.
Oh, is a meeting really all that necessary, Marianne?
It is necessary.
I guess we can send Johans to help you out. You two can
Oh,
start by getting
fucking
rid of this
bitch!
ugly painting.
I swear to God! A hush falls upon the room at my request. That's not a goddamn painting!
What painting?
And lo and behold, the painting is gone because it's not a goddamn painting. In its place, a mirror stands, which leaves me to look at my own confused expression.
Odd. Well, no matter.
You should play my game. What game?
Back to the topic at hand. Marianne, dear, we are simply far too busy to meet up.
What game is it? Rift Summoner. No way. Or perhaps maybe I should... Do I free up my schedule or question the need for a meeting? I mean, if I'm that rich, like if I'm that rich, should I even? I mean, Ooh, Dimensional Shift. It's on Steam. Sure, I'll check it out. I'll check it out. Free up? Okay, I'll free up the schedule.
But I guess we can free up a day to meet with you.
We have... Ooh. Can they just be together?
I don't really need another Maudlin Monday reading about Maury anyway. The book club can function without me for one day. What time shall we be seeing each other? How does lunch sound?
Besides, my house is a higher priority over book club. Why, we can hold the next meeting in this place. Surely the beauty and grandeur of it all will inspire spirited and lively debates about whether modern-day writers could match up the classics. I might as well clear up the rest of my week to handle whatever affairs buying this mansion requires of me. Any social activity can be put off until the Ermengarde, or rather the right mansion's great debut. I'll have to fill my great parties and gatherings, especially when I organize them myself.
That sounds good. Although, with a project of this scope, we might need most of the day to tackle your concerns. A more thorough inspection of the place is also preferable.
Breakfast then! It's a date.
Oh my god, yes.
It's really not.
Oh my god, she's blushing, she's gay.
Alright, Monday, 10 o'clock sharp.
I just feel it with the gaydar.
We'll see you then.
Actually, Marianne suggested we meet at 9, but who is even awake at that unholy hour? I was lucky enough to wake up this morning before Luke went all the way to Cardiff. We say our goodbyes, shake hands, and make it clear without outright saying it that we now own this house. By the time we left the mansion grounds, sunset is almost upon us.
So, you really want to buy this place then? That's a bit of a big impulse buy, even coming from you. Not that I'm complaining.
I feel elation when I hear the words from him. It's not every day one is able to please someone like Luke. He gives away false flattery to sway those who starve for his attention and approval. But in the privacy of closed doors, he would often express his grievances. He neither censored himself in front of me, nor spared me from his criticisms.
You have been saying the penthouse was getting a bit too small for you. Happy anniversary!
Oh. That time of the year already?
Oh, what a dick! He forgot about it last year too. Leave the guy. Just leave him. I understand that he's a busy man, but...
Is that why you want to buy it?
Yes. You don't like it?
I do. But I remember you used to talk about how you wanted to live next to the beach.
Botany Bay, Kent. I remember the sea water that stretched on for miles and miles as far as the eyes can see. As a kid, I loved our beach trips, swimming all day as much as I could. I was a well-behaved child, and the only time I was ever truly difficult was when I refused to get out of the waters, even when my fingers have gone all wrinkly. Have you ever guys done that? Like just not getting out of the water and your fingers are just really wrinkly at some point? And even when they managed to pull me out of the water, there was always sandcastles. The day before we married, I told Luke that I wanted a house on the beach and a dog. And a kid or two. None of those came true 7 years later.
That was a childish dream. Living next to the beach is so impractical if you really think about it.
I don't know. It's not a bad thought to see you in a bathing suit every day.
Ooh, look, you dirty bastard.
Maybe another time, love. We still have forever, don't we?
I'm so flustered reading that. He says nothing, only grabbing my hand and holding it tight as we spent the rest of the ride home in silence. I miss the sea. Sick and hovering over the loo at 3 in the morning, the picture I paint right now is hardly glamorous. A horribly fishy taste is left in my mouth as I throw up what I had for dinner, and I had the acrid stench that fills the lavatory. The burning sensation at the back of my throat is of no help whatsoever. I can feel another wave of nausea come up on me when the doors opens.
Hannah, what are you doing so early out of bed?
I'm fine, love. I must have just eaten something bad.
Oh my god, she's probably pregnant. That's all I managed to say before vomiting again into the porcelain throne. Lovely.
Just go back to bed, Luke. I'm going to clean up here.
I refuse to look at him. I don't want him to see me like this. The last time I've had a horrible morning retching into a toilet was during my college years, being the life of the party. Thoughtless and shameless, I had thrown away months to frivolous merriment and pointless hookups. I didn't even retain any of the connections I had made from that time. They would have been better off at the beach. Yeah, I would agree. Surely they still know of me, and I still know of them, and we still do business from time to time. But I've lost touch with anyone who I didn't see on a daily basis. I hardly have any of the friends I had when I was still Hannah Evans. Teachers, fellow university students, drinking buddies, and all old conquests like Jack. Who's Jack?
No, don't touch me, sweetie. It's disgusting.
That's disgusting. She still looks pretty though.
I'm disgusting.
Luke sits down next to me on the toilet floor to hold my hair, even as I cough up more fish. How many fishes have you ate? He wipes the vomit from the corner of my mouth and just stares.
Do I need to fire someone? I don't feel sick.
Just feeling a bit under the weather, dear. It's been unbearably hot as of late, hasn't it? I do wish it would rain.
Are you sure it wasn't those sweets? I told you not to eat those sweets.
Did he not change clothes?
Maybe. Well, don't laugh.
Well, I can't help if you make that sort of face.
This is the moment. This scene happening next to a loo filled with sick just makes the whole thing bizarre and nearly makes me start giggling as well. I try to stifle it though, as I smack him on the shoulder.
I'm not making a face, Luke. Stop laughing. Shut up.
No way she has Rose's necklace from Titanic. She maybe found it. She found it. When he would not stop laughing, I let myself go as laughter bubbles from my own throat, and I forget whatever ill feelings plagued me. We are just husband and wife, laughing together at a funny face, the little things in life. I let myself go because I know that these moments will not last forever. Aww. But if I just know the terrible things that are to come for us, I would have wished everything I have then and there that the laughter stayed. Okay, what's gonna happen?
Higher! Come on now!
Wait, look. Cool, cool. Oh. Undiscovered. Cool. The place is bustling with movers carrying furnishings here and there, along with several trunks of personal belongings taken from our penthouse. Luke watches them like a hawk, making sure nothing is handled carelessly or gets stolen.
Careful now! I know your pictures are framed by cheap plastic, but those are framed by African Blackwood and are one-of-a-kind commissioned paintings. Each one is easily worth a lifetime of what you lot make.
Luke, do the dishwashers go into the kitchen or the butler's pantry?
Pantry, Buttercup. Careful, that's Emma No, you there, put that down. You do not manhandle a Napoleon Abueva.
You can see the exasperation, and I have to send the foreman an apologetic glance. Even Johan rolls his eyes as he goes by. Considering Luke is always like this during a project, Johannes and I have gotten used to it. Poor Marianne, on the other hand, looks a bit stressed at seeing the gigantic mess before quickly going back to work. Everything just has to be perfect, exactly the way he wants it. One little thing out of the place, one little thing that didn't fit the image he clearly constructed in his head, and Luke gets bent out of the shape.
Sweetie, why don't we go and sort your suits upstairs? Let Johannes and Marianne and the foreman deal with the rest of the work.
We have this, Mrs. Wright.
Ooh, hello there.
Yes, please do go before a blood vessel bursts. Bloodstains are so troublesome to clean.
Ooh, excuse me. This place has been arranged first so that we can get some rest, no matter what state the rest of the mansion is in. I am definitely glad I can just lie down on a soft, comfy bed after what was been a busy morning. Watching Luke act like his life depended on getting this move done is tiring all on its own. And to think that I have a whole day of this ahead of me. I feel the bed dip beside me as Luke sits down with a sigh.
Well, I can't wait for this to be over.
I don't know. It's fun seeing you all fired up. Here at home and not at work, you know.
You know I can't always be home, Hana. I have a company to run, unless you've forgotten.
I haven't forgotten. You're the one who insists on being there to make sure each and every little thing is under control. I just really miss you sometimes, and I wish you were at home more often.
Ooh, you're also playing the letter right now?
Why, if you're not careful, I might go a bit loopy and I'll start bringing cats home. And soon enough, one day you'll find yourself going home to a farm just filled with felines that follow you everywhere.
Oh, don't bluff. The things would shred up your precious furniture.
Hello.
Besides, you don't even like cats.
Hello, Isaac.
True, true. Dogs are infinitely superior, of course.
But what about the wet dog smell? The mess? I'm not cleaning up after a mutt, no matter how cute. If you think about it, a cat would be better.
We laugh. It's not always that we can just lie down and talk about these sorts of things. To joke around as if we're teenagers again, with every little problem in the way of responsibilities and roles. To hear his genuine, honest-to-goodness laughter is a rarity. This is just the second time as of late, and I can only see it as signs of good things to come.
All good points. I guess we could just have kids. That is, if you prefer dealing with soiled nappies and sick as opposed to dead birds, mice, and litter boxes.
Lol.
I've already told Marianne about turning the second bedroom into a children's room.
Oh frick. I guess sometimes I don't know when I'm crossing a line. I didn't say that I am a good comedian, did I?
Not this again.
What? I wasn't being serious.
It's not something you take the piss out of. Having a kid is a big responsibility, Hannah. We've talked about this, haven't we? I'm not ready to be a parent. I'd probably end up killing the little brat by the week's end.
Okay, what should we say? You'll be a great father, or apologize for bringing it up? He hates it when it what? Hello. Look, hates it when Hannah mentions having kids. I see. You'll be a great father. Okay.
Kylie likes you well enough.
Apologize for One Republic. The mention of our little goddaughter plays a conflicted look on his face. Sometimes it is cute when he denies having a soft spot for the little girl. But then, sometimes it's sad and it makes me wonder what happened to make him think so poorly of himself in this regard.
Yes, well, it's Kylie. The tyke likes everybody and, on the off chance she doesn't, likes them well enough as long as they buy her sweets. And sure, that kid is great, but if I get tired of her, I can ship her back to her father at the end of the day. Having kids of our own will be a whole different monster entirely.
Wow. He feels strongly about it. I have never heard him talk about his father in anything but a business context. I recall Damien Wright kept hearing about him from my own father, even before I met Luke. The business world praised him for running a tight ship, all until one make led to a great loss for the enterprise. It was then that news of Luke Wright, prodigy son and successor to the old man, started to show up, and he aided in its recovery and growth up until the Great Recession. I'm getting a bit off track. Regardless, I have never heard him talk about his father like one would talk about family.
I think you'll be a great father.
There is a smile, no matter how half-hearted it may be. I do really think that. He might not be a good, honest man, a part of me knows that, though I try to silence it. But I know Luke well enough that he will be a better father than either Damien Wright or Henry Evans. I love my father. but he never had the time.
If it is any consolation, I think you'd be a decent mother.
Just decent? On the other hand, I have never heard of his mother. A silence settles, both comfortable and uncomfortable. There is familiarity in each other's company despite the awkwardness that had transpired. Defenses and masks down, without anybody else looking, we are both together and alone in this quiet. Yes, they are what? But a crash from downstairs startles us both out of the reverie. Luke lets out a heavy sigh before coming up to his feet and straightening his jacket.
I'll have to attend to that then.
Be good, darling. And watch out for your blood pressure.
He gives me a kiss on the cheek before leaving while I lay there in a daze. Oh my god. Something's gonna happen. Alone, as per usual. I really should be used to it by now. I can feel the minutes tick by with me, just lying there, feeling miserable and full of self-pity. I have rolled over to lie on my stomach at this point, with my face buried into the pillows where there's a knock at the door. Grumbling at them to go away doesn't work as a voice comes from the other side.
Madam, the photographer from Luxury Living is here.
Wait, is that today? Oh yes. People had caught wind of our new mansion the very moment we left the open house. Luke had boasted he could acquire the property in no time and allowed a photo shoot for an interior design magazine to be scheduled today. Well, there were complications and it took longer than it usually does for us.
In a minute, Hansi.
Johannes, if you could at least make it through the end.
Tell them I'll be right down, Hansi.
The mansion grounds has been one of the first things to be fixed up aside from the bedroom. Although it's still a work in progress, it had a promising start and I can already see the flower patches. Luke's favorite daffodils stands out easily, having been transplanted from the pots that used to litter the rooftop of our penthouse. Why, if the moving crew thought that Luke was being hard on them, they clearly didn't see the landscaper on his way out. The man looked like he was ready to faint, and Luke seemed ready to kill him by the end of their discussion. It is in the gardens that I see him standing near the flowers in quiet admiration. He is hard to miss, the hulk of a man that clearly did not belong. The big backpack and suitcase he has with him makes him look much larger. It is a peculiar sight, seeing someone who looks like he does handling little delicate things with such care. He looks up from the gardens and does a double take before a friendly face replaces his serene expression.
Miss Wright, yeah? Hi, Zachary Steele here from Luxury Living, ma'am. Hope you weren't waiting too long. But it looks like you're still moving in, huh?
Such a small world.
Thought for a second there my calendar was wrong and I came here too early.
You look familiar. Have we met?
I have a very wide social circle, so everyone looks familiar at one point or another. But one would think I'd remember someone who stands out like him. The struggle to recall must have been evident on my face as he quickly and kindly answers my question.
Oh, I was with Isabella, your estate agent, when she had the house blessed.
Oh yes, that's right. Small world, isn't it?
Should have known you were Miss Wright.
The one and only. Welcome to Maison de Wright. And yes, we've been in the process of moving in as we were delayed. But it won't be a problem. They're just adding a few things here and there, and you should still be able to do your work. Where's the rest of your crew then, Mr. Steele?
Zach is fine, please. Mr. Steele makes me feel like I'm a mascot for a cleaning product. Anyway, I'll be your one-man crew for today. Don't worry, been doing this gig for a while now.
You must be quite the veteran to handle this on your own. We've had a full crew coming into our penthouse the last time we were covered in your magazine.
Veteran? Oh, your words are too kind, Miss Wright.
Hana! If I get to call you Zach, you have my permission to call me Hana.
Alrighty then. Anyway, I'm no veteran, but I know my camera well enough to make sure this is a good shoot. You can trust me on that, Miss Wright, Hana.
Zachary proves quickly enough that I can, in fact, trust him. His skills with the camera and expression in this industry, at the very least. He is kind and courteous, listening and following as I lead him around the house. A really nice fellow, and he treats our household staff well whenever he cross paths with them. I cannot read. I answer his questions to the best of my ability, and he is patient enough to answer mine whenever I get curious enough. For one, I asked what the bags are for. They are quite the magician's toolkit. From inside, he had procured several items to embellish the interior with. Bowls of fruits, lemons, trays with peppermills, stacks of cookbooks, cutting boards, and glass canisters filled with colorful nuts and grains are brought in for a kitchen setting. Why do I feel like he's gonna capture something trippy? Haha. You know what? Me too. For the bathroom, there are white towels, seashells, and decorative soaps. There are other things as well, too numerous to count, all in that large backpack and suitcase.
Tricks of the trade. Softens up a room, makes a place feel more homey, and fills it up with texture. But you guys probably have better stuff I can use for this.
No lights. Don't tell me all of these are just props.
Well, I've got my tripod here. For things like these, natural light is best. I'll just have to set the shutter speed to a real slow setting, and as long as nobody steps into the shot, it'll look great.
Oh, it better.
We go through the rooms one at a time, although we first tackle the ones that the movers have no business in anymore. The ballroom needs little preparation with its grand design. Although there is some trouble at first with the wide open space and the pictures being backlit. It is in the kitchen that Zachary props come in handy, considering how Johans kept the place so neat and sterile. One can practically eat off the floor. What do you mean, oh no? We carry on touring the house and taking pictures where we can, with every exception to the rooms which have yet to gain any purpose or design. Too bad I can take a sneak peek at his photos yet. Funnily enough, he is using a traditional camera. I didn't even know film still existed. With the way he speaks, however, I can see that he knows enough about his craft that I'm not worried about botched photographs. Imagine photography must be cathartic for him, judging by how at ease he looks while taking pictures. There are small snippets of conversation in between the clicking of the camera. He even goes far as to talk about these terminologies like shutter speeds and apertures when I ask about the technical aspects. I can't quite see the picture as it is made, much like when I watch artists paint on their canvas. But just watching someone passionately practicing their craft such as this is exciting in its own way. Going through the many rooms has been quite the exercise for both of us. Oh, it's gonna fucking happen. Despite that, he has been so nice, and I find myself putting on my best smile. But it is as we're taking pictures in the foyer that everything comes to a standstill for a moment. Just a moment. And I had not been paying attention, I wouldn't even have noticed. It is merely a split second when Zachary's rhythm is put to a halt. Okay. Oh girl. His finger doesn't move to release the shutter. Yet he also doesn't pull the camera away from his face, gaze still firmly fixed through the viewfinder. His hands shake and there is a light sheen of sweat on his forehead.
Zachary?
No response.
Zach?
Lowering his camera, he blinks and stares at something behind me before shaking his head. No. Oh, what? Yeah, oh, what it is. Hannah, no. Turning around though, I see nothing that could have gotten his attention.
Oh, no, there's nothing wrong. I just remembered something, that's all. Let's get back to the pictures.
Oh my god.
Can you move a bit more to the left, yeah?
I struggle to respond this time. There's a sudden weight on my back and an indescribable tightness around my throat. I wonder why. Everything stops. And everything starts again as I manage to choke out.
If you're sure.
I don't know what just happened. It was probably just a dizzy spell. I'm fine. And he said it's fine. We continue at the same pace as before, although there is an unspoken agreement that we will not talk about what happened.
So, is this a full-time job for you then?
Okay, we carry on as if nothing happened.
Nah, I just freelance mostly, for magazines, newspapers, and events. So you can't really call it a full-time job. It's fun and it puts food on the table, but it's not what I really want to do. At least, not all the time.
What is it that you want to do then?
Maybe I've been out of line, sticking my nose into other people's business, but I can't help but ask. I regret doing so as I see his shoulders slump and the easygoing air he has fades away. He looks torn over whether he wants to talk about it or not.
Films. Documentaries mostly. But cinematography is a lot more difficult than photography, right? I was working on this thing, actually.
What thing?
Well, it wasn't really a big thing. People didn't like Blue Fonzie very much.
People don't like a film about colors. I suppose they would have liked Blue Bibby a lot more.
Very funny.
Why did I laugh?
So, Grand Director.
Oh my
Do you
god.
want to tell me what Blue Fonzie is all about?
He hesitates. But when I refuse to budge on the matter, he gives in and spills it all out. Blue Fonzie. Le Poisson de Noir. I don't know how to fucking speak French, but I am trying. Dark blue, the darkest hours of the Black British. He speaks with passion of one who has gone through the very matter he is concerned with. There is conviction, knowledge, and experience in his speech. Why, I would have told him that he is an amazing speaker if only I wasn't so engrossed listening. Prejudice and discrimination in schools and in the workplace. Lesser chances for the opportunity and higher chances of being treated like a criminal. Wow, so real. He spoke of blacks and people of color in general still being treated like second-class citizens. All because of the color of their skin. It is all just positively riveting. And sad. It comes to a point wherein he soon loses steam. He looks abashed, realizing what he had just done.
Sorry, I just got so carried away and...
It's fine. It is really so fascinating to watch people talk about their passion after all. You should see how your eyes light up when you speak so fiercely. You do have very beautiful eyes.
Oh my god, Hannah! Calm down.
Uh-huh. Thanks, I guess.
Oh, hi 13 people who are watching. How are you all? But I really do, don't I? I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth and I've lived a charmed life. It hasn't been perfect, but the difficulties I've been through pales in comparison to what others experience on a daily basis. I certainly don't know how I would have fared were it any different. Would I still have met Luke, and would he still have loved me if I was any lesser?
What was your home like?
She flirting indeed. What was your home like?
These things you talk about, it sounds like you've... Well, I don't mean to pry, I mean.
Live with my older sister and my grandparents. We had a shop selling all sorts of things below our flat. And well, I was one of the few non-white, non-British students in class. I didn't get pushed around or anything straight up. Even then, I was one of the biggest kids around. But a pencil and notebook would go missing, you know?
Oh, that I knew. Children can be so cruel at times. Of course, it may be a slightly different story when you have personal guards and the stolen item is not a pencil, but an expensive heirloom.
So what about you? How you liking your new house? It's pretty impressive.
It's nice, I suppose.
You suppose? Not big enough?
What? No, oh, don't be a bully. It's just that...
I understand if you don't want to talk about it.
I was a little girl all dolled up and treated like fragile porcelain with nursemaids waiting to me hand and foot. All the material possessions anyone could ever want. I could ask for on a whim and it would be handed to me just like that. But I barely saw my parents. Just goodbye kisses in the morning before they went off to who knows where they were needed to next. I saw them more often on the telly or in the papers than I ever did in person.
I remember my old house. It was a lot like this one. Big walls and big halls, but nobody in it. Not really. It makes you think how alone you are.
A pensive mood overcomes us, and there's a moment where neither of us are sure of how to go on from there. Things have gotten a bit too personal, yet it isn't wholly uncomfortable, like as if we've been best friends before.
Well, that's normal, ain't it? You just moved here. You'll make home out of it yet.
He certainly makes it easy to believe that. My childhood house is indeed a lot like this one. Just as large and extravagant, and just as empty. I hope he's right.
So, Monsieur le Photographe, you've covered the one and only Ermengarde mansion. What's next on the agenda?
The interview?
Boring. It's an interior design and housing magazine.
And they want to know what Miss Wright has to say about her interior design and house.
Honor Wright thinks she bought a magnificent house that she can certainly brag about. Blah, blah. Boring. You know what they should print more of? I watched an interesting documentary the other day. Bleu Foncé, The Darkest Hours of the Black British. I recommend you watch it. Those are the things that people should know about. What do they care if I use a purple or green bowl of fruit in my kitchen?
People, right?
Oui. People are shite.
I agree, people are shy.
What do you think? Do I look good with this angle?
I strike a pose while he's being busy, looking taken aback for a moment, probably not expecting me to just go and say such a crass word. But he recovers quickly, and after snapping a few shots, he grins.
Yeah, vous êtes belle. You want copies of these ones?
Yes, please. So, the big boy knows French. You must have wooed a few ladies. Unless you're into gents. Either way, French is, after all, the language of romance.
Though I don't know about quoting fancy poetry, but I've made lunch for a girl before, and they did like that fancy French cuisine.
Can you cook bouillabaisse?
I can cook just about anything as long as I know the recipe.
C'est magnifique.
It has been too long since I've had a nice and proper chat with a good friend. No, Lee is certainly not a good friend. And although we've just met, Zachary is the sort who can probably befriend anyone. He's just a comfortable person to be around with. A bit too comfortable. What do you mean by that? Because Zach is wholesome being. True. The photo shoot went by a breeze, and somewhere along the way, as we talk and laugh, I find myself getting a bit too close without realizing. He'll give me this strange look until I back off, and he'll go back to asking questions after I agreed to do his little interview. What gaze! And it's just odd. Well, no. Me being friendly isn't that odd. That is how I am. Zachary is the one that's being odd. Why? Anyone else would absolutely come to the extra attention I give them. He, on the other hand, looks almost flustered about it. He should be used to different personalities by now, having to deal with various people when he works. And if not, he needs to start. Perhaps nobody has shown him attention of this kind, but he is a big boy. He should be able to handle me. All it is a friendly touch here and a pretty smile there, and gentle swaying of the hips as I move around. Zachary grew and grew more red every time he noticed. Am I being mean as I find enjoyment in seeing him unravel? Perhaps. This went on during the interview and beyond that. There's nothing wrong with that. What we're doing, right? I don't know, you're married. Zachary and I are just having a playful, friendly chat while enjoying the outside view. At least that's how I see it.
I'm sorry, but I'm really getting distracted.
Look
Could you
away,
maybe
Zachary.
stop doing that?
Stop? I'm not sure if I want to though. Should we stop or should we continue teasing? What should we do? Stop it. Okay.
I'll stop if it makes you uncomfortable, sweetie.
Zach would treat her better though. Nice.
Sorry.
It seems like it.
No, I should be the one apologizing. Why, you're a shy one, aren't you, big guy?
It's not that, but...
He gestures to the ring on my finger and lets the fact of the matter hang heavily between us. Being told implicitly that I am too forward is not a common occurrence. I think I'm more stunned at the fact that he pointed it out rather than, well, being rejected. Not that anything is going to happen between us in the first place. It was just going to be some harmless flirting, right? Right?
So, you've never had a girlfriend?
No. No boyfriend either. You know, just in case you were gonna ask for that one next.
And you haven't even had your first kiss?
Not a one, ma'am.
Do you want to have your first kiss today?
Girl! Woman! I can't help it. I really, really can't, and I'm going to apologize lots later. Surely, by the catty smile on my face, it is obvious that I'm just pulling his leg. The laugh I fail to contain certainly gives it away, if it still isn't obvious. But still, he lights up in embarrassment, stammering and sputtering objections.
You're married, and this will be extremely unprofessional.
I never said I would kiss you, silly. Oh, Johans!
No, what? No, don't call your butler. She's Hannah.
That would be for the better. I don't think his husband would appreciate it if I made him kiss another man. I do not think he can hear us from here either. But it is hard to think you're not taken, Zachary. Why, whoever becomes your girlfriend will be so lucky to have you. You can cook and take wonderful photographs, wonderful meals and wonderful memories.
I can play guitar too.
You can? Oh my, wonderful serenades as well then. Perhaps I can find a young lady who deserves a fine, strapping young gentleman like yourself.
Let's not get carried away. Besides, I gotta be going. It's getting late and I got someplace else to be.
A shame. I will be expecting you again soon, I hope. For a copy of my photographs, yes?
Sheesh, Hannah, sheesh.
Of course, I'll even deliver them personally.
It's cause Luke isn't treating her well. Yeah, that's so true. Johans is mine. Johans is gay.
Just,
but yeah, I
you
get
know,
you.
Don't try to make me kiss your butler when I drop by.
As fate would have it, the very moment the words leave his mouth, Johans comes out of the house. Judging by the slight raise of his brows, he has heard only the tail end of the sentence.
There shall be no kissing of any butlers under this roof. Danke.
But you are not under a roof, are you, Hansi?
Why those like cheap jokes make me laugh? To my amusement, he takes a step back, safely placing him within the threshold of the foyer and under the roof of the house. And just as ever, he is quick to return with a sardonic reply.
I am now. As I was saying, madam, it's about time for supper. Will I be needing to set an extra place at the table?
Oh, what? No, I was just leaving, actually. So, you have a good night, Hannah. And you too, Hansi.
Hansi.
It was nice to meet you, Zach, honey. You have a safe trip.
He nods, and the grin on his face as we say our goodbyes is the sweetest that I have ever seen. I linger, looking out for him with his relatively tiny bicycle, backpack safely secured in the basket by the front, and suitcase hooked to the back. I watch as he went down to the path to Anselm Village until he's nothing more than a blip in the horizon. I cannot help the small smile on my face as I go inside for supper. Yo, Hannah! Entering the dining hall causes me so much confusion. It is dark. For a moment, I thought the electric work is not up to par. But it clearly is not the case, as every other room is bright with an artificial light. Finding the light switch is a monumental task considering the size and unfamiliarity with the room. To make matters worse, the darkness grants the room a different atmosphere, eerie and frightening. It takes longer than I thought to find the switch, something that will have to be rectified later on. My skin starts to prickle and there is the distinct feeling of being watched. It unsettles me and only spurs me on in my search. And when I do open the lights, there is a hiss.
I'll turn the lights down, woman!
What is that, poison? Look! There, at the end of the hall, is my beloved husband with his face in one hand and a glass in the other. Perhaps I can let it go if it's the only one glass of wine. However, I can feel myself go livid after seeing the toxic green liquid gleam mockingly at me.
Luke, what? Are you drinking absinthe?
Damn, Hannah can be so scary.
You know what the doctor said. Absinthe, Luke. Are you actively trying to kill yourself? Because if you are, we can just hit you with a bloody car.
Oh yeah, I would agree with that.
Honeybee, Buttercup, not too loud, please. Besides, it's Lelouch, not too strong. Just hair of the dog that bit me. Helps with the hangover, dearest.
You drank? When?
This morning, love. Don't be mad. I just needed a few drinks, having to deal with those simpletons. And maybe I had one too much. You don't see me whinging about you leaving me to handle them on my own.
I had to attend the photo shoot and interview with Luxury Living. You know that. Let's not make this about me, Luke. This is about you and your drinking problem and...
Oh, I don't know, Hannah, darling. What if my drinking problem, as you like to call it, is linked to you?
Oh wow.
If we think about it that way, this discussion is about you. That was pretty mean of you, leaving me alone to do all the work like that. You can't use the interview as an excuse either, honey. I was informed the moment your little interview was done. So, what was it then, What were you doing?
Oh my god, what's it gonna be? Should I tell the truth or tell a little lie? Do I tell the truth or do I tell a lie? Truth? Okay, we are going to be honest.
I was talking with Zachary, the photographer for Luxury Living.
I have no reason to tell lies. It's not like I am guilty of anything. But as Luke's expression turns, he makes me feel like I actually am to blame for something. He has a way of making me laid bare with just a look. That had really struck me when we first met years ago. Lovely.
That giant Negro.
Oh my god, you keep dropping the hard N. Why are you like that, you bastard?
You were having a secret meeting behind my back and it was with him?
What are you implying?
What if he's gonna kill Hannah? Wow, what an obsessed boyfriend he is. I mean, husband he is.
I'm implying nothing. I'm just worried. You know better than to trust those media types, Buttercup. He must have been really friendly to occupy your time like that.
Too friendly, actually.
But all he's looking for is his next big
Sheesh,
headline.
hello.
He's a photographer for an interior design magazine.
Doesn't matter. You let one little thing slip, one wrong move, and it'll blow up in the telly in the morning. He'll go to his journalist friends to gossip and make a quick quid.
His eyes were the first thing I noticed about him. They were like nature, the grass and the trees, wonderful and breathtaking. Mod check this guy. Now, as I look at him, they're nothing but the same shade of green as the bloody damn drink in his hand.
He was a perfect gentleman, Luke. I can't say the same for you as of recent.
Ooh, snap!
Excuse me again? We're talking about you, Hana.
No. I am pretty sure we were talking about you and your drinking problem, Luke, right?
Hangover forgotten during the course of this little spat, the man jumps to his feet and seethes. It looks like he is barely stopping himself from throwing the nearest thing he can find.
Oh, it is not a problem. I can stop whenever I want. And even if it was, I think you can very well stay out of it, as it only affects my own kidneys or liver or whatever the bloody hell that shite pollutes. Whatever aftermath that occurs because of your little chit-chat with the Negro affects the both
Oh
of
my
us,
God.
however.
Look, Luke. Nothing will happen. You have to relax. It was just a friendly chat.
Well, now I think I'm getting jealous.
Wow, too honest.
Or I would be if it weren't for this damn headache.
Maybe you should drink more.
Maybe.
Supper is spent in silence with nothing but the occasional sound of the silverware. A grand feast has been served, well grander than usual anyway, most likely due to Luke's complaints of stress. A platter of native oysters for starters and tranche of turbot with purple sprouting broccoli, lemon, capers, and anchovy sauce for mains. To finish it all off, black tea and golden syrup sponge pudding with custard. I want that custard. But when our appetites are appeased and the plates are cleared away, Luke stands, kisses me goodnight, and leaves me to stare at my half-empty cup. Lonely in the lull of night, I see in a house too big and empty, foreign and unwelcoming. Even if it's warm tone and homely decor, it feels cold. There is no need for tears, however. I know I can get through this like every other obstacle I have faced before. This is a minor setback in what I hope will be a long and happy life. I hope so too. To remind myself that this place is for Luke and for our future children fills me with a renewed vigor. Besides, it looks like someone is having a cry already. The wailing is far away and muffled. Yet at the same time, it shakes me to my very core as I hear it. Oh my God, don't tell me. As if the suffering is just standing right beside me. Hearing it sends a chill down my spine and makes my skin prickle with goosebumps. Who is that? Oh my God! Curiosity sinks in as I follow the sorrowful sound into the kitchen. Oh my Oh. Yes, tell him. I don't think I want to open the fucking cellar though.
Hello? Is anybody down there?
I am curious and concerned, but there is no way I am going down into a dark and humid underground. Ready for some clicking. I'm not God! I'm not as enthusiastic as Luke, who considers himself quite the connoisseur. However, I also cannot bring myself to go to bed with this racket going on. Oh hell no. If it is one of the household help, they will surely need some talking. After all, this wouldn't be the first time I've gone in and found out of mates sobbing their eyes out over one thing or another. As professional as our staff are, they are still human. Don't run, don't be that girl. I agree. More often than not, it was either Johans or I would come down, would help them figure out how to go on about things. Unfortunately, I am not in high spirits right now, so I am not wholly benevolent. Do I? Oh, of course I won't open the hatch, right? I will call them out. guys. I'm not even gonna ask you guys. I'm just gonna call them out. I knocked 3 times. Waiting for any sort of reply yields me no results, and I've already touched the floor, hatched for far too many times than what I like. I take deep breaths before reaching out again to whoever is inside. I've learned from experience that people respond better to kindness than threats. Shouting angrily would not help in coaxing them out.
You, in the cellar! Do come out! We don't want Luke waking up and finding you in there, do we? That man would go ballistic thinking someone was trying to steal his precious wine.
Still nothing.
You can have a good cry. Why don't you come out here and we can have a cuppa and you can tell me all about whatever it is you're bawling about?
With how long I am standing here, however, I am starting to think myself as a fool. I did not want to acknowledge the other feeling I have, especially as the wailing took an eerie turn. The thought of being played with didn't sit too well with me, and I had to stop myself from getting too hot-headed as I try one more time.
Now you come out of there! That is an order from the lady of the house, do you hear me? Why, I ought to...
Oh my god! I freeze as a hand clamps down on my shoulder. The dread I've been feeling all this time makes itself known as I kneel, unmoving, not even daring to breathe. I can feel my heart pounding against my chest. But the touch is gone as quickly as it had seized me. Oh my god! Oh, hello, Jesse. It is only Johannes I see when I look back. I thought I was hallucinating. Hearing someone cry, it was from here pala. Oh, thank you. We're still watching though.
Apologies, madam, for touching you like that.
Touching me like what, Johannes?
You were not responding to my voice, and you looked about ready to wake the whole mansion up.
I was... I'm sorry. I was getting rather loud, wasn't I? But that crying woman in there, we must do something about her.
He grows silent for a moment and just looks concerned. At least I'd like to interpret it as concern, given how stoic our head butler usually is. Or rather, it must have been concern as he takes off a glove and presses the back of his hand at my forehead before his worrisome inquiry.
I beg your pardon. What? Crying woman? Are you feeling well, madam?
In the cellar. Can't you hear her?
Madam Hannah, no one is down there.
What?
The cellar is locked. Only Luke and I have duplicates of the keys. Nobody is down there.
I stare at him in disbelief. But when I listen once more, I hear no crying. Tugging at the hatch for good measure prove his words to be true too. The thing won't budge unless I had a key, short for using power tools on it.
Perhaps it is time for you to go to bed, madam. You are
Perhaps.
simply tired and hearing things, a perfectly normal human experience. But if you are still experiencing auditory hallucinations in the morning, you are free to consult with me.
Johannes is not only a butler, but a psychologist. He's also a therapist, that in fact. There is a cold feeling in the pit of my stomach as he helps me up to my feet. What he says makes sense, and who am I to question someone who used to be a doctor? Oh, he is a doctor! I am just tired, that's it. A long day of moving, the interview, dealing with Luke, that has all drained me of any proper sense.
Yes, I suppose you're right. I just need some sleep, that's all.
Of course I'm right. Go on then. Gute Nacht.
Good Nacht. I'm gonna use that every day now.
Good night, Johannes. Good night, house.
It's just fatigue. That's what I keep telling myself, although I cannot ignore the strange feeling in my gut. Either there is something wrong with this house, or there is something wrong with my head. Sleep well. Sleep will be elusive tonight. Does that mean I survived? Luke is already gone by the time I rise. There isn't a single hide nor hair of him to be found, and trying to call him on his mobile is a bust, as it only goes through straight to his voicemail. That's twice in a row he's gone on me. And for him to disappear today, of all days, is every bit of upsetting because of what's to come. Oh my god, what do you mean? The morning is once again filled with a whirlwind of activity. Fortunately, I am much more fresh this week while I took a break from my responsibilities. I haven't the faintest clue where Luke was yesterday. Today is going to be a busy day, although unlike Wednesday, the master of the house isn't here right now, absent once again from his duties. Hopefully, he'll be back in time for the party. This is our house after all. A grand housewarming party for the wonderful Wright mansion. Every person of importance from Luxburn is invited, and there will be a few guests flying in as well. Of course, there will be some people from the media, along with the friends and acquaintances who are made no less important, regardless of their status in society. Marianne and I discussed business and last-minute touches to the house before finalizing everything. Not that there is much change from our original plans. Bar any huge additions to the property itself, the mansion is nearly 100% complete.
You have certainly exceeded expectations, Marianne. Everything looks so marvelous, and in such a short time, too.
Well, I can't take all of the credit. People have certainly been enthusiastic about the idea of working on the Wright mansion. There won't be any more problems unless Mr. Wright has any more objections about the second bedroom.
Luke and I had a small tiff about making the second bedroom into a child's playroom, which I insisted is completely practical. In the end, he had to acquiesce. I cannot read. I didn't give him any choice in the matter. I even bought his wonderful wooden crib from the antique store yesterday, including some toys. Just in case anyone brings their baby, of course. Besides, we have little need for actual guest rooms. We hardly have guests who spend the night. If we absolutely have to, we often choose to foot the bill for their visit on one of our hotels instead, always at Luke's own insistence. And on the off chance that we actually let someone stay, the bedroom in the opposite wing is still up for the task.
Oh, no. We proceed with that room as planned.
Who looks fine? Tell me, is it Marianne? 'Cause same.
I already agreed to him having his greenhouse and his vineyard and his stables. He may as well let me have this one thing.
No, I did not agree to him having a helipad.
All right then. Well, do we have any other concerns? Anything we need to put on our agenda before the party commences?
Hi, Jessie.
No, I don't think so. Not unless Luke has anything else to say.
Is he around then? It'd be best if we can note down his request right away, considering the scope of his usual ones.
Around? No. Where is he? Who knows where? I don't.
No, he's not around.
She didn't have to point out the obvious now, did she? After 7 long years, I'd already gotten used to him. I should be by now. Still not, apparently.
But don't you have a party?
Yeah, Marianne, she looks fine. I know. I want nothing more than to complain, to whinge about how unfair this is. However, airing out one's dirty laundry is simply taboo among high society. To do so will make you a ripe target for the next dinner party chit-chat. Vultures, the lot of them, really? Or most of them, at least. There are always good ones like Rochelle Lee. But put your trust in the wrong person and you'll find yourself eagerly picked apart.
Yes. But Luke's just being a sweetie, you see. That friend he's visiting, he's having marital problems and he's just trying to cheer him up.
Perhaps I am being a bit too rash, a bit too hot-headed in divulging details. But I thought myself clever, with the plan to dress it up as gossip. Marianne's raised brow make me unsure whether she is interested or not. Although that makes things better if she has no interest and therefore has no hidden intent to utilize whatever I might say to her.
They've been married for a long time and they've hit a... how do they say it? A rough patch.
Helicopter. Why not just give me the property? She kind of reminds me of Mikasa though. Oh, now that you've mentioned it, I think it's because of how her hair's like styled. It's similar to Mikasa, only longer hair.
His wife has a drinking problem and can be very neglectful. The poor thing really does his best to be a good husband. But it's never enough for her. Sometimes I think it's the years. Maybe it's been so long that they've lost that romantic spark.
Oh my god, she's talking about herself. She's projecting.
What do you think?
You were asking for my personal opinion on the matter, ma'am?
Oh, why does she sound so good?
Do you want me to be honest, or...
Thank you, Jessie. Do I want her to be honest? I think I want her to be honest.
Be honest with me, Marianne. I don't need someone to sugarcoat it. I'm not some fragile thing that I'm just going to break down at the slightest thing.
She hesitates, taking a sip of her coffee while I stare into my own cup of tea. The silence stretches on, and I almost believe that she will never answer my question. I suppose that I shouldn't blame her, putting her in a tight spot like this. Her hesitation is understandable, though I loathe to admit it. She simply wants this whole thing to stay professional. But then she speaks.
If I'm going to be completely honest, I need to ask. This is about you and Mr. Wright, isn't it?
She said it. What I said, she said. It's my turn to hesitate now. I really don't expect such a straightforward question. And to get to the heart of the matter, I suppose I'm not as clever as I'd like to think. Or is it really that bad that an outsider can see our little marital troubles? Surely we aren't that obvious, are we? We've put up the act of a perfect couple for years, although it hadn't always been an act. Marianne is just more keen than the average person, of course. It is a necessity to her career, and she's been working so closely with us. Yes, that's it.
Suppose it is. What would you tell me?
Then, I tell you it's none of my business. I tell you that I don't want to meddle.
You go, Marianne.
But if the troubled husband with the neglectful wife asked me for my honest opinion, I'd say that he shouldn't base his happiness and his self-worth on someone else. Someone who won't even give him the time of the day. Maybe he should try being independent for a while. See what it's like when he isn't trying to please someone else and doing things for himself. Everyone's supposed to be their own man or woman, right? A bit of breathing room never hurt anyone.
Ooh.
That's just my 2 pence worth, of course.
So you're saying they should divorce?
Nothing as drastic as that. If they're afraid that it might lead to just that, then maybe that is what's meant to happen in the first place. We shouldn't let our fear control our lives. But it's just a short hiatus is all. Or, couples therapy? Look, I'm really not the best person to ask about relationships, so grain of salt and all that.
She trails off, having said her piece, and leaves nothing but the smell of coffee and Earl Grey between us. There is a calm despite the nature of what has just been discussed. To say that her words make me start to think is an understatement. To say that I'm not considering her advice is a lie. And to say that this might just be the calm before the storm is a possibility. Others have had shorter marriages, yes, but plenty have celebrated long and happy ones as well. My own parents celebrated their choral anniversary before they passed away. But 7 years? 7 years isn't a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. It isn't a whole lot time to see what we and where our relationship can bring us. And at the same time, 7 years, well, it hasn't been entirely made up of unhappy years, has it? It won't last forever. It's not supposed to anyway. I just dread the thought that it might last for a very long time. I dread the thought that these small spats, these little disagreements, will turn into an all-out resentment. The idea that we will grow to hate each other with every fiber of our being scares me. I can't even pinpoint the exact moment when our blissful union turned sour. We can get through this, right? I know that I still do love him, and I feel that there is still a part of him that loves me in return. We just need to get our heads together and talk it out. Surely he will see some sense. There is a cough before Marianne clears her throat. I must have been quiet for so long, and I move to apologize when she stands up. We both end up on our feet, unsure on how to proceed. Some sort of odd, awkward shuffle occurs as we decide whether to sit back down or not.
I really should handle what's left of the work.
You won't be attending the party? Oh, you really must, Marianne.
I'll try to stay and chat. Maybe grab a few bites and a drink, but I can't be around for the entirety of the event. My apologies. Busy, busy, busy.
You must stay a while. I'd love for you to meet some of my friends, and they're ever so excited to meet you. You need to say hello to the Lees, at least. If it wasn't for them, I'd never even heard of you.
We'll see. So, if I can be excused?
Certainly. You'll have to excuse me as well. I must attend to the party before any early birds arrive. Because, believe me, they will throw a fuss if things aren't ready, even when they're not supposed to be here until an hour later.
The scene outside the parlor is a great organized mess. Aside from our own household help, we hired the service of the temp agency, which provides staff for the right enterprise in the hospitality sector. Even our skilled staff cannot undertake a party of this size on their own. Waiters, busboys, hostesses, and their staff captains move about in droves, carrying crockery and serveware good for several dozen people and then some. Chefs and bartenders tail after Johannes, looking like scared little children as he escorts them through the kitchen and into the wine cellar. To peruse the stocks to select what can be served at the party and what can be used for cooking.
Well, we have a lot to do, and I believe we did not hire snails. Snails are for the dishes.
A string quartet readies up to play for the evening, tuning their instruments as they fill the air with idle chatter. Floral decor where thousands fill vases, wreaths, and baskets, while petals are scattered along the driveway up front. Ooh, that looks so pretty. An ice sculpture of a reindeer is brought in carefully by a pair. It is followed by a simple cake, just a 5-tier white chiffon, one with white chocolate mousse, fresh berries, and a light dusting of edible gold leaf. That's chiffon. But despite the fact that I told Marianne how I will attend to all these, I find myself unable to focus or care for any of it. I still have art discussion running in my mind, and looking at all of these, I only see Luke everywhere. These are all the grand things that Luke wanted to have for the party. I had wanted a small, elegant, and simple gathering, with only a select few invited, namely the people who I would actually trust to enter my home. I did not want my bloody politicians or paparazzi in here, no matter how used I am to catering them.
At least be here for your party. Damn it, Luke.
The entire thing screamed Luke right. And I can't help but add another question to my growing list of queries. When did I lose myself? It's always about him nowadays, isn't it? What about Hannah Wright? What about Hannah Evans? I used to be my own woman, whoever made her own name, her own career, and her own decisions. Sure, I was already the social butterfly that I still am today, but it wasn't all empty shallow gossip and sitting pretty. I was also lauded for my knowledge and talent. Finance manager wasn't just handed to me just because my father owned the company. I had insisted that I start at the bottom so I could work my way to the top and prove myself. And I did. I worked numbers, managed budgets, money and accounts, analyzing the competition and market trends. There was the calculation of financial risk, cost reduction opportunities, auditor liaison, and public relations, supervision of staff, and, well, I generally had a huge slew of responsibilities. Admittedly, I was already quite the attention seeker even back then, having dedicated most of my youth craving for my parents' approval. Following that, I turned to others, looked for praise from anyone who would give it, however fleeting it all was. And look, oh look, the way he looked at me, the way he watched me and took a genuine interest. He had me disgustingly obsessed since day one, hasn't he? He saw me for me, Hannah Evans, with both my faults and my achievements. The man didn't treat me like some damsel in distress or some prize to be won. I remembered the nights before we were married, where we talk about everything and anything, from big things like businesses, society, and philosophy, to little things such as what we had for breakfast and whether we like cats or dogs more. You both prefer dogs. Nowadays, I'm just Luke Wright's wife. It's mostly my fault, isn't it? They told me that husbands preferred wives who are docile and subordinate. A woman who'll always be there for him, yet would never outshine him in all aspects except beauty. A wife needs to be at home and attend to his needs, to have children and to take care of them in his absence. They said I have no business working anymore after I was married. I can blame society. I too blame society. But I listened. Before I can fall further into the introspective bit of self-loathing, someone calls for my attention.
The guests have arrived, madam.
And Luke?
Running a bit late, I'm afraid.
Late for his own party. That man, I swear. He's probably looking to make a dramatic entrance, knowing him. Open the doors then. We mustn't tarry.
Cars line up the driveway, peppering the front of the mansion with vehicles of every kind. Grand tours, supercars, even the odd high-end muscle car or two, convertibles, grand saloons, and other luxury cars can be seen being parked by valets. A handful of cabs drive off, possibly for those who thought it's too troublesome to bring their own cars. There are at least 2 different media vans as well. They're all here for what may be considered the biggest event of the year for a luxury brand. So far, Who knows what will happen for the winter holidays?
Welcome, welcome everyone. Please make yourselves at home.
Some of the guests idle, enjoying the warm, if not strange, sunshine we are experiencing before gloomy skies inevitably return. They greet acquaintances and friends with warm smiles, others less so. From where I stand, I can see the hierarchy of power, the ties that bind these individuals here, whether through convenience or necessity. However, there are also few who are not here to further cement their current place in high society, such as the young man with his oriental air, ignorant of the looks he receives from women and men alike,
Be careful with Shirley, alright?
or that rose-haired woman talking on her phone while she looks unsure of why she is here exactly.
Yes, I'm at the party already, Mom. Yes, I'll say hi to her if I can.
I see Zachary, the photographer, as well. He talks to a few of the other media crew with an air of familiarity.
I was just here a few days ago, yeah. Yeah, and the inside is huge, but the staff are pretty helpful if you get lost.
And then there are people like the chief inspector. People who I can never be too sure about. People who stand on the border between being suspicious and being trustworthy.
Thank you for the invite, Anna. Husband still missing, I see.
I should be saying the same of your darling Rochelle, Lee. The doctors again?
She told me she'll just be in the gardens. Bet she's lying and that she's somewhere around mingling, gossiping with the other ladies. It's no offense, but that seems to be all you ladies do at these parties.
And aren't you gossiping right now?
Yes, well, what about Luke? Should we file a missing persons report now, or do you want to wait 24 hours?
He's around.
You know, I can tell if someone's bluffing. Don't tell me, let me guess. He's finally drunken himself to death and not wanting a scandal, you've hidden his body.
That could work.
I was wanting to give this housewarming gift to him personally, too. It's a plate that holds a wine glass so he can stop killing himself with liquid lunches. Looks like it's too late for that.
Nothing like that. Besides, this is a hardly polite conversation.
Oh, relax. I'm just trying to be cheeky to lighten the mood. It's not like I want Luke dead. The man doesn't serve dodgy plonk like the others when I visit, and he pays his respects well enough. I could use a glass of wine or three, actually. Rochelle's been in a horrid mood. Threw her stilettos at me the other day and almost took an eye out. Not sure if this is how it usually goes, but I blame the pregnancy.
I wouldn't know, would I?
Still no plans for a baby? Well, I guess that's for the best. If it's this bad now, I can't even imagine how bad it'll be when that little baby bump becomes huge.
Have I mentioned how I don't trust him, no matter how hard I try to do so? At least he brought a gift, I suppose.
Why don't you just go inside and have some wine, Lee?
Think I will, thanks.
Greetings such as these carry on as the guests continue to trickle in. Whether we have short conversations or merely shake hands and nod heads, I make sure to attend and welcome each of them. As the first hour passed by, the rest of the stragglers and I adjourn to the ballroom. Any latecomers will have the attention of the porter instead. I have other duties to attend to now. Hosting parties is always the same old song and dance, no matter how big or small it is. You make sure your guests are well fed, have good company, and have them generally enjoying themselves. So when my opening remarks are done, when the band has started to play and the guests have started eating, I find myself wandering around aimlessly unless I am pulled aside. For a while, I stayed with a small group and entertained them before excusing myself. And when they're not anymore chatting me, I end up watching them. When they don't listen, I do. A local banker is having trouble with his daughter. He wishes to marry her off, but she wants nothing more but to make music. One of our hotel managers worry about the stolen belongings of one of his patrons, a failing insecurity which should be brought up to higher authority soon. Our mayor, well, his cat died. Then there is that rose-haired woman once again. It is hard not to notice her with her distinctive locks. She also lacks the grace that the other ladies have, though that does not make her any less beautiful. Her stance and the air she exudes instead are strong, and they make her stand out despite her casual attire. Many men have already given her their attention, though each invitation to dance has been turned down. I approached, intrigued, although it is no great mystery what occupies her own attention, with the glances she keeps sending towards the boy with the oriental hair. What a scary scene is about to come up, just a heads up. That's not right. She remains unaware though, even as I stand beside her, pretending that I am there for a drink.
You would catch his eye a lot better if you wore nicer clothes, don't you think?
Didn't realize the housewarming was going to be this fancy. I would have gone with a nice dress if I knew.
Oh, you're fine, dearie. It's only really the parvenus, those who climb, that come to these parties all dolled up. Quite the black-haired beauty, isn't he?
The boy comes over, but I do nothing to speak any softer. He merely passes by, and it is a wonder he doesn't hear what I say.
Who, Ash?
You know, you really shouldn't have turned down those offers. If I wasn't married, I'd happily go dancing with those young men. But you said a name. Ash. That's the exquisite lad you've been looking at all this time. I don't know him, and I'm the one hosting this party. That must mean you know each other. Is he your boyfriend then? Because that would explain those rejections.
In all my life, I have never seen a face grow red so fast. The shade of her hair did not help as well. It is the most pink I've ever seen on a person, really.
What? No, that's ridiculous. He isn't my boyfriend.
Such a violent reaction. A simple no would have sufficed. Many here would be happy to hear it.
And I haven't been looking at him.
That's right. You've been staring. Quite heatedly, in fact. Although I'm not sure if you look like you want to kiss him or kill him.
It's more the latter currently.
Just don't go murdering him on my property. I don't want to walk into a room and suddenly find a body there.
I waver as I feel the burning of someone's stares. It is chilling, and though I am used to enduring the gaze of others, this one makes the hairs of the back of my neck stand up. Holy fuck. I swear to God, I was warned. It is chilling, and though I am used to enduring the gaze of others, this one makes the hairs of the back of my neck stand up. My attention is pulled from the girl, and I see a woman staring. Dark-haired and dirty, she looks more like a beggar. All I hear is her laughing. Taunting. Her stare makes my blood run cold. She looks at me like I am nothing but a pig to slaughter for her amusement. It makes my hand shake and I nearly drop my drink. But then in a blink, she's gone, and the buzz of the party returns.
I'll keep that in mind, but are you alright?
You weren't prepared? I was supposed to be prepared.
Yes, sorry. I just thought I saw something strange.
Why do they keep ignoring
The
this?
trick of the light. Anyway, on a right, as you must already know.
Rebecca Gales.
Gales.
even bring me food when there was no need to do so. Usually stovies, which I honestly hadn't been too keen about, though I ate them nonetheless because she brought them for me.
Oh, the professor! And your little Becky!
My parents couldn't make it since they're in Scotland right now. And Mom says hi, by the way. But yeah, that's me. Little Becky. We met once before.
Yes, oh, I remember you! You were the cutest little thing with glasses! And when we met, you were having boy troubles with this lad called something with an A. What was it again? Aaron, Alan, Adele, Albert, Alexander, Andrew?
The more I list off names, the more red and the more quiet Becky gets. She starts to look a bit miserable as her body language shows discomfort and stiffness. Perhaps I have triggered a horrid childhood memory. Surely, I hadn't been mean when she visited with her mother. I don't quite remember all of it.
Ashton! Ash!
Well, she does not have...
Boy!
She doesn't
Same
know
one.
how to read a room.
Oh, goodness me, after all these years! I can see why, though. He's quite dashing.
You don't really need to announce it to everyone with an earshot, you know? Keep it down.
I'm so sorry, but it really is cute.
A tad bit sad.
This is a nice party, Miss Wright.
Please, Anna's fine. We're friends of a sort, aren't we? We must be friends, seeing as I know about your little infatuation, Becky. Don't you worry, dearie. You'll have your happy ending yet.
Oh, sure hope so.
I'm not too concerned about that, am I? That's not what I'm looking for.
Oh? And what makes you think that? Doesn't everybody want their happy ending?
The idea of happy endings sounds like they're just for fairy tales. And they are, sorta. I don't think you can just sit around, trapped in some tower and hope for the best. If you love them, you have to fight for it, right? You're not just going to sit there and hope that everything will just fix itself on its own. Like everything, you have to work at it. But what do I know?
There's a grimace, although she starts to relax around my presence. How long has it been since we met as children? Certainly a long time. She was tiny back then, if I recall correctly.
I'm sure the daughter of the two greatest professors I've ever known is smart enough to know what she's talking about. But have you told him how you feel? And it's been what? 20 years?
Oh god, that's so long.
17, actually. But no, not yet. He can be a bit dense. I was hoping that maybe he'd notice on his own and...
What's up?
Well, that won't do. What if you two become husband and wife? He's not to be dense when he's sworn himself to another person. Why, you might just as well consider leaving before the day's even begun.
If that happens, I'll have to give him a good ear bashing, won't I? Whoever anyone ends up with, it's not going to be a perfect relationship anyway. There's going to be things you'll love and things you'll hate about the other person. We're just humans. It's funny. Here I am, trying to give you advice when you did the very same thing back then.
I know, right? 17 is still a bit too much. Hiding your secret lover inside.
I remember you giving me a makeover when we were still kids. And you were the first I told anyone about my... crush.
I do remember now that she mentions it. Did I give her the yellow summer dress or the pink blouse and petticoat? She must have kept some of what I said in mind. It feels ridiculous remembering all of the years later, talking about boys and how they go all crazy for pretty girls, as if it's some gospel every woman should adhere to. It was so easy to say such things then, with me not knowing any better. Though looking at her now, she must have kept some of what I said in mind. Perhaps I did say something good at that time, enough for her to take it to heart. But all that didn't matter in the moment as I mull over what she's just said in my head. What Becky told me is different from what Marianne told me. There is no time to ponder over that. However, as a hush descends upon the once lively crowd, the music of strings and the chatter slows to a grinding halt as the doors from the foyer opens. The last of the latecomers should have arrived moments ago, and anyone else too late would simply be too embarrassed to show their face. So this can only be one person, or rather one man. There is only one man who is audacious enough to arrive at his own party so late.
Good evening, ladies and gents. Enjoying the party? I hope I'm not too late in welcoming you all to the Wright Mansion.
And like I, who was raised in the spotlight and simply grew used to its presence, he sought it out every chance he could, even when there was no spotlight that shone. And I'll never put it against him when he smiles like that. He did so quite brilliantly under the scrutiny when he channels his showmanship. You can tell by the way people's eyes lights up as he speaks. How they listen enraptured, even if all he's doing is a simple greeting. A little wave of his hands here, a little smile there, and a bit of a swagger. I always tell him that if he is not to be a businessman, he'll do it well as an entertainer. I love this side of him, especially when he looks at me and he beckons me over to humbly share his place. Not a single second is wasted as I excuse myself from Becky's side and I make my way to Luke's.
Welcome one and all to our humble abode. Tonight, if you have yet to find yourself in your roles, you are all ladies and lords of the court of your king and queen, if you would excuse my presumptuousness. So, enjoy the feast that has been laid out for your senses as we only allowed the best to be served. Enjoy the rest of your night, everyone!
There's a round of applause, cheers, and even some hoots. Guests approach left and right to shake Luke's hand and greet him personally, praises on their lips. It is because of this that I do not see her. I do not see her until she is dangerously close, with fury in his eyes, and she is already spitting venom. Johannes restrains her, taking care not to unnecessarily harm the pregnant woman. Okay, what? But that does little to deter her rage, and the man has no choice but to let her go, lest an unborn child is hurt. Although it might be too late for that, as I see an emptied glass of wine in her hand. How much has she imbibed in?
Are you feeling ill, Rochelle? Perhaps you need to sit down and...
No! Shut it, you monster! I ain't talking to you! I'm talking to this scumbag
Oh
over
my
here.
god!
You bloody bastard standing there with your smarmy smile!
Oh my god! She interrupts me, jabbing her finger in my direction before she rounds on Luke. Even as whispers and murmurs break out among the guests, all I can focus on is the heat of the moment. Obviously intoxicated, judging by the smell of all alcohol on her breath. I'm not ticked off about this little display of hers, at least not yet. But I'm absolutely pissed by the fact that she'd endanger her own baby by drinking. There is a considerable amount of restraint and grace that I must exercise while I wait for her tantrum to subside. I keep a patient, if tight, smile on my face. Luke's expression, on the other hand, is indecipherable.
Watch your tongue! You're on thin ice, Rochelle. Where's your husband? Who even invited you?
I did.
And I told you with great emphasis not to. Now we have a drunk, hormonal, pregnant woman causing a stir. What is even going on?
I am just about to ask the exact same thing.
I don't know. But Rochelle, do calm down before you hurt yourself. I can't understand a word you're saying.
Where is that husband of yours? Lay! Collect your wife right now!
Don't you fucking talk like I'm not here and you're not responsible, you ass!
Oh, what?
You told me that I should wait for you in the gardens!
Oh.
Excuse me. What is this nonsense you're going on about?
Crazy talk! That's all it is! Just completely and utterly mad! Has anyone seen the Chief Inspector?
I am pregnant with your little bastard. You promised me you'll take
Holy
responsibility.
shit. Oh my god.
God damn it, Luke. I finally got you to talk to me after months of silence, and you do this to me.
Oh, what a whore. What the fuck, Luke? Is this why you don't want her? Is this why you don't want her pregnant? Because you already have one? What?
What do you mean you're pregnant with? Luke, is this true?
Lies and slander, woman! Security! Johans, take her out of here before she makes an even bigger fool of herself!
No, you do not do this to me.
Oh wow, this is some drama. Luke X Hana ship is no more. Luke is a cheater. Yeah.
I was so ready to leave my stupid oaf of a husband. I told you to leave that damn wife of yours.
Oh wow.
Look at her. Does she look like she wants a baby?
She's been wanting to have a baby, you bitch.
Does she look like she could take care of a baby?
Oh wow. It is now that Johan has returned with security along with a concerned looking Officer Lee. They surrounded her and moved to escort the hysterical woman. Judging by his pale face, he has heard the whole thing, and I feel nothing but pity for the man.
I'm so sorry for her behavior. She's been under a lot of stress. And the alcohol.
Hana X Marianne? Yeah, oh my god. I would want that.
Talking nonsense, that's all it is.
It is now Hana exact. Yeah.
You're not allowed to drink because of the baby, Shelley. What are you thinking?
Nothing to see here, people. Move along.
Johans. Is there really nothing here but the ramblings of a drunk? Yes, that's right. There's no way that what Rochelle says is the truth. What she says doesn't match up. I know, look. If such a scandalous meeting are to be arranged, he won't do it in such an exposed place, especially not near his precious flowers. And he definitely won't promise responsibility over a child unless it can be helped. Besides, Luke will never... He will never go so far as to sleep with another woman, right? I don't know. Okay, fine. Who am I kidding? If I am to be completely honest with myself, he might cheat. Oh my god, the woman is like so delusional that he's like trying to ignore these facts. Why would a preggo woman drink? Because he hates the goddamn baby. Yeah, irresponsible. Yeah. That's why she would drink. That's all there is to it, because she doesn't care about the baby. With a bit of temptation and a bit of alcohol, he just might. I don't think he even needs alcohol to do these things. He just does it. And doesn't that just make my blood boil? To even think of the slightest possibility of infidelity. Lee isn't too far off when he told me how Luke still acted like some young hotshot bachelor. It starts to make me think. Okay guys, this is... he's a red flag, but she's colorblind. She probably is colorblind. So we are about to make a big decision here. Is it perhaps a break is needed, or I need to work for my happy ending? We have to think that this is a big decision. She's wearing rose-colored glasses. For sure she is. Like, she's trying to ignore all these facts. Like, why would he not be at home? Why else? Do we need a break? Or do we work on our quote-unquote happy ending? Perhaps a break? Okay. What about you guys? What do you think? That's like one for the break. I mean, we gotta teach him a lesson somehow. Yeah, break. Okay, we'll choose the break. I'm afraid of what the happy ending implies. What could it imply though? Maybe Marianne had a point. If I am frustrated, if I am unhappy, maybe a break is needed. Break. Yeah, break. We chose break. Hooray for break. Some time apart might be just what the doctor ordered. Time apart to clear our heads and to think for ourselves, or for myself to be exact. Because looking at this mess before me just brings me nothing but distress. I feel a bit nauseous actually, now that I think about it. Luke's too busy making a scene to notice, and the concerned Becky pulls me to the side. She looks as disturbed as I am by this sudden turn of events. Probably not a big fan of drama. Definitely not used to it at any rate. Not surprising, as her parents were lovely yet simple people.
Hey, I figured you could use the save. You looked like you weren't doing too hot back there. Do we need to call a doctor or something?
Oh no, I'll just be needing some fresh air, that's all. Some help getting out of here would be much appreciated.
Sure, that won't be a problem. I wanted to get away from this drama too anyway. Just... Hey, Zachary! Hey, Zach!
Yo, Zachary! At the mention of his name, I can't help but seek him out in the crowd as he makes his way over. They know each other?
Becca! This is a real oh, hey, Miss Wright.
If I am to assign a random number to dictate the odds of having two of my acquaintances know each other, I'll say the odds are 1 out of 1,000. And if this is any other situation, I would have been suspicious. It isn't completely impossible to have two random strangers who I've met on separate occasions to know each other, in what will be complete random happenstance. It's just that it's been faked before to try and dupe me because of who I am and who I am married to. But right now, coincidence or not, I am just grateful for the help. As long as this doesn't turn out into a kidnapping anyway.
Hello, Zachary. I told you to call me Hannah. Did I not?
Yeah, you did. So this is what you called me for. We gonna get Hannah out of here?
Wow, what a sharp dude. I can see that they're friends. Not terribly close ones, but friends nonetheless.
That'd be great.
They make quick work of getting us through the crowd. The people part because of Zachary's broad build, and even if they want to approach me, if that isn't enough, Becky's pointed glares keep them at bay. We even make it out of the ballroom without any untoward incident. Though, by judging by the commotion in the other room, the same cannot be said about the unexpected eviction. I really do need the fresh air. I need to be away from those nosy Parkers. I need to be away from Luke. This is a good start as any.
Hey, I gotta go back in there. Completely forgot my bag like an airhead, and I'll see if I can tag Ash on the way out. You'll be fine here, right, Hannah?
Not to worry, dearie. I'll just be right here.
Zach will be with you if you need anything.
Becky balks at the idea of going back into the ballroom. Anyone who hasn't yet would have realized I am gone by now. And those busybodies will be gossiping about how I left the building with 2 unknowns. Along with what just transpired stories but inaccurate and made up will spread by the night's end. It all matters very little in the grand scheme of things, of course. I won't even bother to try and quell them by returning to the fray. That leaves me with...
Zachary?
Yeah, you need something?
I was only going to say how nice it is to see you again.
Oh, okay.
I can see the tension in the line of his shoulders. Odd how awkward he is when this isn't our first meeting. We had met on professional terms, certainly, but I'd like to think I was friendly. Nonetheless, I do not push the issue about the apparent discomfort when we were left alone. Not right away, at any rate. I know my curiosity will get the better of me soon. Before I can say anything, however, he speaks up.
You okay there, Hannah? I mean, of course you're not okay after what happened in there. I mean, that was terrible. But you're not gonna just fall down and faint or anything, right?
I'm fine. Thank you for your concern.
A bit.
I should be asking you the same thing.
Oh yeah, I'm just not too good with staying too long in a crowded room. Or handling intense drama, you know. Sorry about my clothes. Didn't think there'd be a dress code. Not that I have anything that nice to wear to a shindig like this. I dig nice, small, simple parties, so this is a real doozy for me.
And do you host your own nice, small, and simple parties often?
Only when there's occasion, birthdays and stuff. Those are a lot more fun for me, and I can be a lot more selective about letting only the people I'm cool with attend, right? I get to pick the food too. Of course, I make most of them myself. There's usually a dozen people or less, and all we really do is just hang out. Maybe do...
That sounds nice.
Yeah. You sure you're alright? You aren't exactly being eloquent yourself, as you put it. You must have something you want to get off your chest.
I don't know, Zachary. What am I supposed to say?
You can scream Merd if you want. I won't snitch.
I would too.
You want to know what I think? How I feel? I think my friend may have slept with my husband. At least, I'm pretty sure she isn't pregnant with his baby, which isn't much now, is it? My husband is a selfish, pretentious, bloody sack of shite, and ugh!
Hannah is scary when she's mad.
You know what? I don't give a flying fuck anymore! My God!
You go, Hannah. Scream it.
Well, that ain't good. Not giving a crap won't make the problem go away.
I'm going to ask him for a break, Zachary. I'm not going to pretend that there isn't a problem, but I just need to step back.
Fair enough. As long as you don't just up and disappear on him, I suppose.
Fair enough.
Yes. Now can we please stop talking about him? Tell me more about your small, simple parties. Karaoke and dancing. How does that even go together?
Simple, really. We hope Ash doesn't take the mic, put on a bit of fun music, and just dance.
Poor Hana indeed.
Not that I can, but there ain't nothing complex about it.
You can't be that bad.
I'm pretty good with the twist. Or that's what they tell me, at least. I think they're just being nice. I'm sure it just looks awkward.
How should I respond? Prove it. At least you can cook. Prove it would kind of sound teasing. At least you can cook is like, yeah, at least you can cook, you know. We're getting the Hana exact story we need. So do we prove it? That's what we ask. Is that the final answer? Not sure. Prove it? Okay, I'll press prove it.
I've learned that men tend to exaggerate. You can't honestly be that bad, can you?
What? Do you need a demonstration?
That would be preferable, yes.
It's not like there's music here, Hana. Come on. I can barely dance with music, and I don't want to be dancing alone. I'll just look silly.
Imagine, mon ami. You are an artiste, are you not? With your photos and films and your guitar, you must know notes to play an instrument. Find a melody and a beat. Would it be such a stretch of the imagination? And don't fret, I will gladly be your partner.
Smooth as hell, Hannah. I can tell by his expression that he's flustered, embarrassed. But no more protests escapes him, and he focuses with a slight tilt of his head. Then he starts to hum a little tune. I drag him into the gardens while we go through the motions, and he gains courage the farther we are from other people. Oh wow! And we just dance. There he stumbles at first, unsure and bashful.
Where did you even learn to dance, Zach?
Wow, Hana's really pretty.
The 60s want their moves back, honestly.
College of two left feet, obviously.
I think I go there.
And I'll have you know the twist is still an awesome dance.
We're happy and we're having fun. Even if Zachary fumbles with his steps and did the funniest, oddest movements that anyone can pass off as dancing. There is no need to impress anyone, however, not even each other. And this is the most I've smiled and laughed in a long time. It is simple. Simple is nice. Okay, not done yet. I wish the same can be said about what I'm about to do. Simple isn't the adjective I will use to describe the task at hand. Because really, how does one tell their husband that they want to separate and say that no, this is not a divorce? Not yet, at least. The possibility is there. But still, how am I even to explain that look without him throwing a fit? Cutting too deeply into my sausages, I open my mouth to excuse myself. That is, until I spy Luke mashing and steering his poached eggs with a fork like a petulant child. He has been silent all the while, chin in his hand and elbow resting on the table. I worry that my absence after the debacle may have caused more harm than good.
Luke, I think we need a bit of a break. You know, some time apart.
At my words, he grows still and silent. I'm not quite sure whether I should be worried or not. I take it as my cue to keep talking.
It's not permanent or anything like that. Just for a while. In a few days, perhaps. I was thinking I can move back into our penthouse in the meantime. But I won't be moving out right away. So that I can help settle everything here. And I haven't even thought of packing yet. And I'll want to ask Johans to assign some of our staff. Unless you want the penthouse anyway. Then I'll stay here instead.
No, you take the penthouse. It'll be easier for you.
Oh wow, Luke. It isn't supposed to be this easy, is it? Can he really react so aloof to it?
Isn't this to your liking? I imagine that you'd like the space and independence. You'll have the bed and covers to yourself, and you can have whatever you want prepared for meals.
Not permanent.
You can even have all the wine you want, though I'd rather that you don't.
This isn't about that, Hana. Well, it's partly that, but...
The man stops playing with his food, choosing instead to push the plate aside.
What's wrong, Luke?
He slumps back in his chair and just stops short of putting his feet up on the table. I suspect he wants some wine and absinthe by now, but any of sort of alcohol is suspiciously absent in his hands.
Aside from that disaster yesterday and you telling me you want a divorce, everything is peachy keen. Will you want me to start on the letters then? To start the divorce settlements and whatnot? Will you be seeking ways to throw me out onto the street without a penny to my name?
Oh wow. That's what he's thinking. Just indefinite. I mean, I'd rather it stay that way.
No, Luke, this isn't a divorce. I just told you this is only temporary. Are you really having a sulk because of what she said yesterday?
I am having a sulk because you believe her. You stormed out and now you're asking for us to split up? Soon enough, you'll want to throw me out like I'm a piece of trash.
Because you are a piece of trash, look.
Do you think I would be this calm if I believed her, Lucille Mitchell-Wright? Because believe me, if I did, well, it wouldn't be pretty. Besides, I know how you feel about children. It makes her whole statement laughable.
Sure, whatever you say.
His mouth draws into a thin line, and I can't bring myself to comment on his half-hearted reply. To me, the silence that follows feels oppressive. It only emphasizes the wall that has been built up by my absence and his hubris. And it looms between us, keeping us apart.
When are you leaving? In a week?
It won't take that long to pack. After All Saints, perhaps? I'll go and inform the staff of this.
He only nods. And I'll be lying if I said that didn't disappoint me. I expected more resistance. The man could be stubborn as a mule as if he wants to be. Perhaps I can leave now, just to spite him. But that isn't like me. Even if this does end in a divorce, a thing we both truly wish to avoid, we can still leave on amicable terms. There's no point in making a mountain out of the molehill.
What are you still doing here? Just leave. You still have some packing to do, don't you?
Oh wow.
Go ahead. I won't stop you.
Go ahead. And do nothing. There isn't much to do, it seems, whenever I step up the plate and try to take responsibility for something. Perhaps because everything is already being handled by someone hired specifically for that job. And with Johans overseeing the staff and Luke handling everything else as a whole, that doesn't leave much for me. I can't even take the job of delegation because of all it takes is a word to one of the senior staff and everything will be taken care of for me. Moving in here and a few days ago may have very well been the chore that took the most effort from me. And that didn't take any real effort at all.
Yes, Hana, go buy a mansion in the middle of nowhere.
Grr.
Good idea. Great plan.
There are no dishes to set aside and busy myself with. Any mess left behind is now nearly non-existent. To sit on a counter while eating cake is supposed to be my next plan. Alas, there isn't enough, even one, to finish off, and I don't really know what brought me to the kitchens in the first place. It's not like I'm craving anything else, nor do I have any unfinished business left here. But there's a calling to this room. Speaking of calling, why not just do that? Just do that. Might as well, since I have nothing else to do. At least that will require some effort on my part. With how cut off from the rest of Lugsburn the mansion is, and with how long it was abandoned before we moved in, having a landline is out of the question. The solution is supposed to be our mobiles, though it isn't much considering how spotty the signal is in this area. It'll take a bit of maneuvering to get even a single bar as it is. It takes a bit, as I said it would. I have to park my rear on one of the cold drawers, but that suits me just fine. Another matter that needs my effort is who to call. She who was not to be named is certainly off the list. That doesn't leave much in the category of close friends who attended the party, along with the category of who else is awake at this early hour. But soon enough, a management call goes through.
Hello, Rebecca Gales here. Who's this?
Good morning, Becky.
Hannah? Oh, wait, how did you get my number?
You responded to your RSVP through the phone. It's all saved in here, of course. I thought I'd like to say hi and make plans and get together sometime. Also, I'd love to hear news about your mother and father and about you, my dear. Oh, I hope I didn't wake you up.
Oh, you're good. It's sports day at school today, so I was just prepping for that.
Figures that you'd be a teacher as well. I'm sure your students must absolutely adore you.
Don't know about that.
Mathematics?
History, actually. Anyway, it's real nice to know you've got my number. I was going to ask for yours because Mom wanted to keep in touch.
You could have asked, silly girl. I would have gladly given it to you.
Couldn't, though, because, well, the thing that happened. But really am sorry, though. I gotta run. School, schedule, stuff. Is there anything else you want to say? Don't want to use the mobile while driving?
Oh, of course. I shouldn't keep you. But I wanted to thank you for your company yesterday.
Not a problem.
I was hoping you could thank Zachary on my behalf as well. He was really kind and wonderful.
Well, you can tell him that yourself if you want. I can give you his number.
Oh, no, I don't want to be a bother. Intruding on his privacy.
Pretty sure he'd be fine with it. If you two are on a first-name basis and all. So, his number, right, it's...
No! A strange clicking noise drowns out most of her words too. I can barely understand what she's saying. Oh my god. Oh my god. What? Which doesn't make sense. The mobile is turned off, isn't it? And if it isn't coming from the phone, then where? Looking about, I can tell, but let my eyes be drawn to the hatch leading into the wine cellar once more. That's when the clicking stops and I can hear that crying, that familiar crying from before. What happened the other day when I was told that nobody should have been down there? I tried to forget it because of how it unsettled me so. One can hardly do that when I'm looking at the very thing I'm trying to forget. Somebody is crying there again. But if I leave it alone, it simply won't stop bothering for the rest of the day. They might have gotten to lock it with the party going on.
If somebody is pulling my leg, I will not be happy.
My soul left my body when you screamed. Sorry. Holy shit! Why would you open it? As I look to the door, a sense of uneasiness washes over me. It's just a vertigo and nausea, but also the darkness. It's suffocating. And as I look down, it feels as if it's looking back at me. I worry that something will suddenly pull me into the deep. The cries drown beneath the shreks that start echoing in my head high and shrill, like nails being dragged across the chalkboard. They're all screaming, shouting at me, and I can just feel her rage. Help me. She wants to drown me, drag me down and crush me in the very depths of darkness until there is nothing left of me. The deep abyss awaits for me, for my death. They're all calling for it. This is a nightmare. Oh my god! Oh my god! And I couldn't. Wait a minute. I have to save it. I have to save it. Oh my god. I'm screaming, though it is not my voice that escapes my lips. It claws trickling up, forcing its way up my throat like putrid bile. I choke and gag, yet I scream and shrek all at the same time. And I'm me, but not me. Oh god, what do you mean? Okay. I swear to fucking god. Oh my god. Oh wait. I thought it was just only going to be like clicking, so I was like not looking at my keyboard at all. So I like panicked. Oh, part 2. Oh my god. I mean, I do know, because like I'm past this one, but like I was playing it on my mobile, so like it's different. I thought it was just gonna be a clicking thing, and then it turned to keyboards, so like I genuinely didn't know what to do. Okay, we survived that. It pushes me down to my knees before I am prone and vulnerable on my stomach. Nice, you did great, thank you. It makes me tumble and I can just feel my whole body seizing, writhing on the floor. Everything and nothing hurts. It feels like I'm on the verge of death. And if I'm not dying, I nearly wish I actually am.
Hannah, what is going on in there?
Why are you?
Brains.
Saying Luke, something snaps back and I'm able to take a grasp of air on my own volition for the first time in what felt like centuries. I would have rejoiced and cried for his name if the pain still did not rack my body. Instead, all I can do is stare listlessly as he comes to my side and lifts me up, cradling me in his arms. He tries to get me to my feet, perhaps to take me out of here. But all he's able to do is get me to sit, make sure I'm not thrashing on the floor. I can still feel my muscles spasm, limbs jerking like a puppet on a string. Luke holds me tight and keeps me still, so that I do not hurt myself anymore. Whatever it is that happened, it has my mind feeling frayed and battered. Eventually, the pain dies down into a dull ache, and my own tongue stops feeling like cotton. It's only now that I can feel the wetness of my cheeks, tears streaking down my face. A coughing racks my body now that I don't feel like choking. And it just all feels so horrible. But I don't care. I don't care.
Please.
Oh my god.
What happened here? Who did this to you?
I don't know. I'm so sorry.
Shh, it's alright. You're safe now, Hana. You're safe now.
Oh my god! Okay. Let's save it for now. So, we're done with Hana. Luke is a cheater for sure. Wait, have I saved? I saved. Yes. Yes. Oh my god. Well, that was a ride. I genuinely thought I would die. Cause this game, if like the people actually dies, you won't see them again. They're just like dead canonically. Canonically dead. So you're just gonna think, you know, like I should have done better. But hey, I did better. Nice, thank you. Sheesh, thank you. Look is cheater. Definitely. That was so fun. Thank you. Thank you all for staying tuned and for believing in my skills, I guess. So now that we're done with Hana, I guess we'll end it tonight with that note. It's nice to know that we still have Hana on our side and not dead yet. That was a ride. So guys, thank you so much for watching and staying up with me. It's now, well, 12:18 a.m. at my place. Hana's chapter was full of cuties. Yeah, I really didn't expect it to be like that. I thought it was just gonna be all clicks. So thank you guys so much for tuning in with me and for patiently waiting for the live stream. I really appreciate all of you for being here, and I hope I see you again soon. Hopefully tomorrow I'll stream again, continuing with Zachary's POV. Oh, and please don't forget to click like and subscribe to this channel because I really need your support. And I would love to see you all again. And if you have any suggestions of what to play and what to, you know, what I could improve with the live streams, I would definitely appreciate it if you guys tell me. Because I'm still all new to this. Any suggestions and criticisms are gladly taken. I will not cry or sob. Good night. It was a fun stream. Thank you for saying that. Or the TWD. The quarry or the TWD? What's... Can you tell me what the TWD is? Good night. Thank you, everyone. The quarry. I'll definitely check on that. Thank you so much, guys. Sims 4, definitely, but I won't do a live stream. I'm planning to do like uploads for Sims 4 and all the adventures out there. Oh, The Walking Dead. I should have thought of it. Yes, definitely will. Telltale, The Walking Dead. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I do have that in my library. Ooh, Alice in Wonderland. Oh yes. Wolf Among Us. Oh yeah, I heard that's really great. One of the best. Okay guys, thank you so much. I will end the stream now. Thank you so much for staying with me at this very late hour or wherever you are. Don't forget to like and subscribe and stay tuned for the next uploads and streams to come. Love you all. Bye.